Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope you're doing well. Today I'm posting because I recently saw that Knitting for Olive came out with a post on social media that on August the 9th, so this Saturday when I'm filming this, they will be donating 100% of their sales and their proceeds to humanitarian aid in Gaza. And I thought that this was just such an amazing effort, and I really wanted to share the patterns that I will be purchasing this weekend. And also because Knitting for Olive is at a bit of a higher price point, buying a sweater quantity of yarn is not always possible for some people, so I thought sharing the patterns that I will be purchasing might also inspire you to look at their catalogue and consider purchasing something this Saturday. So yeah, it feels a little bit trivial to talk about knitting and these patterns, but I figured, considering the cause, I really wanted to draw attention to this. So yeah, I'm going to go through the patterns that I'm going to be purchasing. I'm also considering buying the yarn for one of these projects. I'm still kind of mulling it over and deciding on the fibre and also the colour. So if you have any strong feelings, also let me know. So I have my computer here with all of the patterns up. I moved my phone because the lighting was a little bit dark, but the first on my list is the Late Summer Wrap. And this is just a really beautiful and elegant cardigan. It almost looks like something I imagine like ballerinas would wear. I don't know if that's accurate, but it is just this really beautiful wrap cardigan that has an opening for these long ties that you knit so that the top can be tightened at the back. It is worked from the top down and has a saddle shoulder construction and a beautiful folded edge along the kind of opening of the top and like the hems of the neckline, and also on the sleeves. I haven't really ventured into the realm of cardigans yet, mostly because a lot of them are worked flat and that kind of intimidates me, but I've made the Anna top very recently, which is entirely worked flat, and I didn't nearly dislike the process as much as I thought I would. So I feel like I am ready to work a long sleeve project flat, and also this is just so beautiful, and I know that I would get so much wear out of it, especially if I made it in a neutral color, maybe like a black or a dark gray. This pattern comes in sizes XS to 4XL, and that's like the usual size range from what I can tell for Knitting for Olive. If it's different, I'll mention for the pattern. But from what I can tell, it is pretty size inclusive, with the odd pattern only having 3 or 4 sizes. And the recommended yarn is of course Knitting for Olive. They suggest holding a strand of their merino yarn and their mohair to reach a worsted gauge. And the recommended needle size is 4.5. So pretty standard, wouldn't take ages, I think. And because it also has negative ease, that also means it will take a little less time. I think this might be the next project on my queue, just because I feel like it's perfect for this time of year, because you can still wear it on those chillier summer nights, but then also since the weather is cooling down, you can wear it more often and during the day. So yeah, I'm very keen to cast this one on. In no particular order, the next project I want to talk about is the Morning Glory sweater. This is a really beautiful, chunky, cabled raglan. I have never ventured into the realm of cables, and I think this might be my first introduction because it's knit on really big needles. There's only one cable motif, and it's a pretty standard raglan, so I feel like this wouldn't be too difficult. And I actually have nearly the exact same color of yarn that's used in the project photos, because the first sweater I knit, or didn't finish knitting, but that's still on my needles, is a sweater by My Favorite Things Knitwear. And I bought the Lang Yarns Carpe Diem yarn, which is a really lovely alpaca and wool yarn. But that sweater is just not really matching my style anymore, and I never finished it. I kind of lost momentum with it. It has really big balloon sleeves, which I just am not so drawn to anymore. And I was also having trouble with the dye lots because I didn't realize dye lots were a thing, and I bought yarn from 2 different dye lots. And I was thinking this pattern would actually work quite well for it, because I could do the cable motif and also maybe the ribbing in one yarn from one dye lot, and then the rest of the yarn, which I have a majority of, I can do the rest of the sweater. So I feel like that's a pretty good plan. This comes in sizes XS to 5XL, and the recommended needle size is 7mm, so it would work up so quickly and it'd be such a satisfying knit, I think. So yeah, this is also definitely high on my queue. Next pattern I intend to buy is the chunky rib sweater. I have been really into ribbing at the moment. I'm working on the camisole number 5 by My Perfect Things Knitwear, and I really love the way that the ribbing looks and how like form fitting it is, and just what beautiful lines you can create with the ribbing. And I also love the silhouette of this project. I think the way that the increases are worked are very flattering and beautiful. I also really like the mock neck on this. And I find actually that at the moment I'm really drawn to patterns that either have like a boat neckline or this like higher mock or turtleneck, which is kind of interesting. Like I'm not really drawn to patterns as much that have just a regular crew neck. This sweater is worked top down in a 3x3 rib pattern on a 6mm needle, so also a chunkier sweater. But it only comes in 5 sizes, this one. Since I'm on this sweater train, the last sweater I have, I think that's on my list to buy, is the olive turtleneck. And I was just really drawn to this because of this all over, it kind of looks like a leaf lace design. It's really pretty. And I haven't attempted lace, like all over lace work for a project before, so I think it would challenge me in that way. The lace is also fairly kind of neutral. It's not too in your face, so I feel like I would be easily able to wear this with a lot of different things. It also just has really nice little details, like how the knit stitches in the ribbing in the collar transition to the raglan increases. I think it creates really nice lines. And also I just like all of the finishing rib details, and also these like vertical lines you get from the center of all of the little leaf shapes. And this one is worked top down, all in the round, and on 6.5 and 6mm needles. The final sweater on my list is the fennel sweater. This is like a project I've never kind of seen anything like before. I haven't really seen this combination of different rib, because you have this like finer rib around the neckline, and then the rest of the body and the sleeves are worked in this like very stripy looking 4x4 rib, which I think is really cool. But yeah, this just looks really comfortable and like easy to throw on with the big sleeves. But I also feel like you could wear it with a skirt or even like with a dress, and it would also look really nice. This one only comes in 4 sizes, but the recommended needle size is 5mm. Moving on, I just have 2 summer tops that I think I'm going to purchase. I think I'm kind of slowly orienting myself more towards the cooler months now, so I'm less kind of inspired by summer knitting patterns, but I'm definitely going to purchase these for next year because I know that come summertime again, I'm going to be very keen to knit these. The first is quite similar to my camisole number 5 that I'm working on. This is the white top. And I say this is similar because it's also worked in 2x2 ribbing, and I think it really plays as well with like how the increases are placed to create these really interesting kind of shapes and lines. So yeah, I think I won't cast this on definitely until I finish my camisole number 5. But it is a really, really beautiful design. And a project that would take a very long time, as I've learned from my camisole number 5, because it's knit on 3mm needles, and this one has even more kind of coverage than the other top, so it would definitely be a labor of love. But I definitely will make this at some point because it's just such a classic and timeless design that I know that even if it takes a long time to knit, I will wear it for a very long time afterwards. And this one comes in sizes XS to 5XL, and like I said, its recommended needle size is 3mm. And the final top I want to talk about is the line top, and I'm pretty sure that this one came out a bit more recently because I saw lots of kind of promo for it this spring and summertime. But it's a really interesting top and also has a very interesting construction. This top is actually worked from one side to the other side. So it's worked, you start with one strap, you work across the body, do the other strap, and then around the back, and then you actually Kitchener stitch the 2 seams together, which I think is really interesting and might be a little bit of a pain to knit, but I'm not really sure. I haven't tried a construction like that before. But the final effect is so striking and cool, and I just love all of the design details on this, like the I-cord edging and the way that the straps start off skinny but then like are thick for the rest of the body. I also think it's really cool. So yeah, honestly, this is like a perfect pattern. I don't think I would change anything about this, and it would also be so much fun picking out the 2 colors you'd want to do, or even more. I guess you could do as many stripes or as many colors as you like. And this one comes in sizes XS to 5XL, and the recommended needle size is 3mm. But yeah, that's all for today. I have to go because my phone is about to die and I need to start editing this video. But I hope you've taken something from this. I really urge you to go and check out Knitting for Olive's catalog and just buy something, anything tomorrow. But yeah, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.